everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world you're joining me today. I'm Nilanjana, as Rugal shared, a digital learning specialist and your presenter for today. I have scaled diverse businesses by designing and developing learning solutions, started my career accidentally in the area of digital space, which was in 1995 in India when learning was predominantly offline. I learned about this domain in my first job, and since then, there has been no looking back. I developed a passion for this domain because the digital space is quite complex. Right now, I'm sure somebody is looking at their mobile phone or probably multitasking. It's like watching OTT channels. We don't like something, we just change the channel. It's not like a movie hall where we have a captive audience. Of course, the movie hall, we can choose to walk out, but we will still think twice before doing that. So, in the digital learning space, how do we keep learners engaged and ensure that they are learning? This question has always stuck on with me, and every project has been a challenge. It has been 29 years now for me. I've been very fortunate to work with intelligent minds who design innovative learning strategies such as game-based learning, social media learning, social learning, storytelling, even before the AI wave started. So today, our agenda for today. So today I'll be sharing my thoughts on generative AI, which is impacting the HR and L&D world. Have you ever wondered where did these roles, HR and L&D, come from? Where did it evolve from? So I'll start with the evolution of HR and L&D. And so next, what we will learn today is about generative AI for these roles. Then share what's happening around us in the world of generative AI for HR and L&D with some examples. What are some of the concerns and some key takeaways? Okay, let's get started. All right, so I believe life has shown us that change is constant and adapting is necessary. We have evolved from the trial and error to digital learning. Invention of technology has been probably one of the most life-changing and amazing invention since the invention of fire. We have evolved from the manual world to the technology world, the automated world. If you think about it, every invention such as mobile phones, computers, internet, our life is becoming more and more comfortable. Our lifestyle has changed in a humongous way. However, one thing remains constant, that is innovation and change. Our history is a proof of this. So that's where I'm going to share today. Let me share a story of how it all began. About 2.6 million years ago, humans lived in caves, fulfilled their basic needs of food and clothes through hunting wild animals, learned through trial and error. They were wanderers, their needs were limited, and there was no concept of work and play. Through trial and error, they got the idea of farming and started to cultivate crops and domesticate animals. In the 18th century, the Industrial Revolution led to the development of factories for large-scale production with changes in the society. There were several job opportunities for industry workers, and they were required to gain technical skills relevant to the factories. If you have seen the movie Modern Times of Charlie Chaplin, it gives a good depiction of this age. Due to the harshness of industrial conditions, coupled with some pressures arising from the work, there was need for someone to ensure the well-being of the workers. So that is when the job of the welfare officers and labor managers were created. So the workers felt protected. As industries increased, there were jobs in other sectors, transportation, communication, banking. Educational degrees were linked to job guarantee and security. As computers were invented in the 19th century, more and more people began working in offices. So computers, or they called the intelligent machines at that time, were used for information exchange, organization of work, coordination of workflows, and deadlines. As time progressed, with economy beginning to pick up, large organizations in this newer sectors saw value in improving employee benefits. For example, holidays with pay or the pension scheme. This was a way of recruiting and motivating employees to work. Personal departments were formed to manage the administrative function of an organization, which later morphed to human resource management. Okay, back to our story. So where were we? We were in the industrial age, yes. So as I said, the computer age, yeah, that's where I was talking about. The intelligent machines, as they called at that time, were used for information exchange, organization of work, coordination of workflows, and deadlines. As time progressed, with the economy beginning to pick up, large organizations in these new sectors saw value in improving the employee benefits. So yeah, I think I had already talked about that. So the holiday and the pension scheme is what I said. And this was where the birth of the personal management departments were formed, which was the administrative function, and that later morphed to be human resource management. That's where it's talking. Okay. So there was a gap in education and employment requirements, which opened up the training in campus to corporate. And also during this time, we had the induction training. The workforce was crowded, varied, and unevenly talented. So that's how the workforce was there during that time. I want to stop a little bit here, and before I move on to the present day that we're talking about, observe how there has been changes in our society with the role of the HR and L&D. From being wanderers, we progressed to settlement, to having a workplace. And as workplace or offices got created, the role of HR and L&D also transformed. It gained more and more importance. Now we are in the digital age, which has resulted in the new forms of communication and collaboration. We have the Internet of Things, the big data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, as we're just going to talk about today, which has changed work processes, freed up people for more service activities. This era is characterized by rich, cross-institutional, cross-cultural educational opportunities, where the employee themselves, they play a key role as creators of knowledge, and where social networking and social benefits play a very strong role. It's a collaborative working environment, and this is something to keep in mind. We are in a collaborative space. No longer an employer owes an employee a job in exchange for hard work or loyalty. Employers help employees maintain viability in the workplace, and the relationship is mutually fruitful. And to create a win-win situation, the demand is that the employer and employee share the responsibility of maintaining that employability. Thus, the role of HR is now of a HR business partner. Training has to be focused on competency building and lifelong learning. And we'll talk about lifelong learning later. Different training strategies such as webcasts, virtual modes of learning through Adobe Connect, blended learning, they are in demand. And that's our existing 4.2, as you see on the screen, digital age. To what I shared, I'm going to move on to sharing a visual. of this, where you can see the transformation of HR, the evolution of HR, and on this screen you can see what I've just shared: the welfare officer, the labor manager, the personal management, human resource management, and now we are the HR business partner. Right. So, and then I'm going to share another visual, which is the evolution of workplace. We started with the apprenticeship. We don't hear that word anymore, which is learning, getting mentored from an expert. Then we had the specific job task skills. Then in the mid 20th century, soft skills got added, and then we had the computer-based training. I started my career in computer-based training. That's where I started. And then we had the web-based training. And today, of course, there is much more that we're talking about with generative AI. So coming back, what is the need? We have observed that the need of employees and organization have changed. Employees want to take ownership of their own learning. They want to make decisions of their own learning process, learn independently on and off the job. It's a new working environment with increased customer focus and more intensive collaboration. So organizations are using agile tools to focus on iterative approximation for the desired result. Development is faster, tailored, more effectively to the customer. Employees are required to manage work as well as learn in a fast-paced environment. So everything needs to happen quickly as demand is high. How does HR and L&D keep pace with that? HR has loads of time-consuming tasks. For example, HR gets about 2,000 resumes. How do we shortlist the candidates from those 2,000 resumes? Even if I do, it's time-consuming. At the same time, there's low attrition rate. So HR needs to take care of rewards and recognition. They also are business partners today, which means they need to partner with the senior leadership to develop and implement effective HR policies and practices. So HR partners deal with a myriad of complex issues: hiring, onboarding, performance management, pay, hybrid work environment, diversity, benefits, etc., etc. There's a lot of them. And talking about the L&D team, when media shifted from analog to digital, from movie reels to cassette tapes, books and posters, worksheets to websites, the very resource for developing training programs has transformed. Learning program development is a complex task, especially the online learning. We have planning, we have identified the scope, understanding the learner and its environment, challenges, designing the training based on the learner needs and environment, sometimes even creating a prototype to do a feasibility study, creating the content, development of the actual course, if it's a classroom-based training, and creating the storyboard. So it's a difficult thing right now. And I was just thinking, maybe I could show you a sample storyboard. So I'm just going to stop sharing and share again. And this is the storyboard that I'm sharing, which is we used to create, which means there's a lot of hard work that goes into creating the content. And you can see a load of text out here. So even if you have images, these images need to be searched. These are clip arts that we need to search. We have to get these images. So it's a lot of task creating the storyboard. So I just wanted to show you an example of the amount of work that goes in creating a storyboard, which is for the online learning. This is just an example, and I'm sure there is also a lot of tasks which goes in creating classroom training. So coming back to our PPT. Now, moving on to what I've shared with you. Rugul, can you just take care of people who are, want to get admitted, and if you can just take care of that, because I just see that.
Yes, it is done. I'm here, so I have already Accept
Okay.
the request, yes.
Okay. Because it just keeps popping up. That's the reason. So, yeah. All right. So we understand that we definitely need something to help us to do our jobs faster. Uh, Imagine a genie gives us a magic potion, but what are we trying to achieve with that magic potion? That's a question that we need to ask ourselves. And the slide that you can see us, this is an image of a perfect world. Learning or training programs should not be designed with the anticipation of what an employee needs. So what it should be is that it should be directly linked to the business. Learning is a very integral part of business growth. Like we know that it is considered as a support function, I'm sure you've heard of that quite often. It is not. For example, if I have an e-commerce platform where I sell groceries, I hire a fresher for customer service based on their command over the language and good communication skills. I don't provide any training. What happens? The employee talks to customers as they would talk to any friend or unknown person. The customer is unhappy and my business loses customers. Thus, if we see this image of the perfect world, organization is linked to the learning process. How does it work? So the image that you see in that, you can see that it starts from the top, the market economy, which impacts the organization's goal or the vision. The organization's vision scopes down to the business goal, which will result in the business process in which the learning process is integrated in this business process. Very important thing to keep in mind. We are a part of the business process. Any change in the market or economy or the organization goal will impact the learning process. And that is the feed backward model. I can share an example. For example, there is a FMCG company which could have a goal to increase sales of aloe vera soaps by 20% in the next 6 months. This goal may result in the increase, to reach a certain position in the industry. And then as months progress, the company discovers that there's a huge demand for shampoos rather than soaps. So what does the company do? They may now want to focus on the sale of shampoos than soaps, or find an innovative way to sell both. So thus the business goal changes, and so does the business process or the learning process. It is an open system where there are uncertainties, and managing those uncertainties is critical. It is difficult, it is complex, but it is not impossible. And technology can help us in achieving this. I will now move on to our favorite topic, which is generative AI, which is the talk of the town today. And I know, a lot of us, we're thinking it's going to replace our job. Uh, I don't know how it's going to work, and whether it's really just a temporary thing. It isn't. When computers were invented, I'm sure people thought of the same thing. We, the human race, we have embraced every invention, and our roles have changed, or rather evolved. So technology is a tool, and it is we humans who decide its future. So what is generative AI? So we know it's a type of artificial intelligence technology, which can produce various types of content. And which this content, it can be text, images, audio, synthetic data. Synthetic data is information which is artificially manufactured rather than generated by the real world events. While gathering high quality data from the real world is difficult, expensive and time consuming synthetic data technology enables users to quickly, easily, and digitally generate the data in whatever amount they desire. customized to their specific needs. So generative AI, what it starts with, and I think we've all experienced is that it starts with a prompt, the AI system processes and returns new content in response to the prompt. That content can be image, video, design, musical notes, or any input. And we have the chat GPT, which we very commonly use. We have DALL-E, Bard, a lot of things. I want to share an example just to show the difference between how AI works, which is the difference between how Google works and ChatGPT works. Google is a search engine, we all know. It helps us find information. We put in what we are looking for. It searches through billions of web pages and provides us a list of links on websites that contain information related to that search. For example, we can use Google to probably search for how to make a wooden table or best cafes in Europe. Now, how does ChatGPT? So that's a question that I think we all kind of know. So what's the difference? So basically giving the difference between both of them. The ChatGPT, what it does is it uses artificial intelligence tools and techniques to understand and answer queries in natural language. When we use ChatGPT, we feel we are conversing with a friend. We rely on ChatGPT to find answers to specific questions. So I'm sure all of you might have experienced this, adding an email response to probably a job advertisement that I'm interested in, and it provides you the accurate answer. So it generates text that is very similar to human text, and it's trained on big data so as to understand the nuances of human language. So generative AI can be very helpful to our roles. Let's find out what's happening around us, and I'll start with sharing some principles of generative AI. So what you can see on the screen, we have some of the principles, and I'll also share some examples from the HR and L&D world. The first is data-driven creativity. AI systems learn from massive data sets to develop material that mimics the real-world patterns and styles. Where is it used? HR. It utilizes this principle to process vast amounts of data, which it gets from its resumes, job applications. And I'll also share an example of a tool that I know of. So this data includes candidate demographics, qualification, skills, past experiences, performance metrics. And through this data analysis, HR can identify trends and patterns in the talent pool, such as in-demand skills, emerging job roles, preferred recruitment channels, analyze the historical recruitment data to understand the effectiveness of different sourcing strategies, even the hiring processes. Next, we have the sustainability. Sustainable AI promotes, as the name says, that environment-friendly practices and minimizes the carbon footprint associated with AI development and deployment. An example is AI tools. Generative AI tools can be used for scheduling and resource allocation. That can, we can save on the unnecessary travel by scheduling interview sessions, training sessions, meetings online. So that's a good example of sustainability, which is from the HR world. The other one is the human-centered design. Human-centered design focuses on creating AI systems that are intuitive, accessible, and aligned with the needs and preferences and capabilities of users. So as the name it says, it's very human-focused. So this is a very good usage in e-learning platforms, especially with user-friendly interfaces, intuitive navigations, personalized learning paths customized to an individual learner. So For example, in a call center organization, AI-powered platform personalizes a learning plan based on individual customer service executives' performance metrics. So to just what I stated as an example, if you recall, this is the feedback word model. So based on the performance metrics, the learning plan is given to the individual person, the customer service executive. Chatbots, they can be used for the on-the-job coaching. Suppose I'm probably working on a business application and I'm stuck. I don't know what's the next step. So a chatbot pops up and tells me, guides me. So they can be used for the coaching. Interview questions, these can be designed using generative AI to encourage candidates to actually engage in conversations and probably collaborate with interviewer. Very real, like a real interviewer speaking to them. And this might involve asking open-ended questions, inviting candidates to share their thoughts, ideas, or experiences. Ethical AI. Ethical AI, it ensures AI systems are developed in a way where there is fairness, transparency, accountability, and the respect for human values and rights. So one of the examples that I can share, which is from HR, is that it anonymizes candidate information to prevent discrimination based on gender or ethnicity. Continual learning and adaptability. Continual learning and adaptability, which enables AI systems to improve over time, learning from new data and user interactions, enhancing the performance and relevance. And this is again a very good application in the learning field, where the LMS can dynamically adjust the content based on the learner's preferences, progress, and performances. So it can provide what the likes of the learner, what exactly they're looking for. Another example is assessment after training programs. So AI-driven assessment tools can be used dynamically to analyze workforce competencies. They can recommend learning paths to bridge skill gaps and adapt to evolve in job requirements. So that's one of the other examples, which is in assessments. Feedback loops. These are very critical. They are very critical for refining and improving the output of generative AI. So HR, it regularly involves in employee engagement surveys and uses AI-driven sentiment analysis to analyze open-ended feedback responses. The sentiment analysis tool, it identifies recurring themes, sentiments, concerns, which are expressed by the candidates, provides insights into areas, even for employees also, where it also provides insights into areas where the organization is performing well, where it requires attention. With the help of these insights, we can formulate HR policies, programs, initiatives which can help in the meeting the employee needs and improving the overall satisfaction and engagement levels. HR adopts a performance management platform which uses AI algorithms, which can monitor the employee performance in real time. So that's also the performance management area. Tracking progress towards goals. So that's another area. Similarly, in learning the completion of the training programs, the LMS can ask open-ended questions. Currently, I'm not sure if anybody else has experienced, but I have seen mostly that we use multiple choice questions. So AI-powered evaluations are being developed where there are open-ended questions and the learners can share their thoughts on those questions. Based on the feedback, the LMS can provide recommendations to the learner, even share this with the L&D team. As an L&D professional, it's very critical to know what the learner needs are. I may think that everyone likes videos, and this is something which happens very commonly, that when they, oh, video-based courses, that's what everybody will like. No, somebody may not like video-based courses. They may just want a simple image and text course, or probably even a game-based course. So how do you know that? How do you can get to know that and personalize it for them? So that's one of the areas. So I have just shared some broad examples. In the next section, which is the types of AI, I'm going to share some real examples, starting with an interviewing tool, some content generation demo, image, audio, video. Even, I'll share a video on how generative AI is being used to create training courses. In fact, I have a demo on which I'll share that. So I'll stop sharing and I will switch on to my browser to share those examples. So just stay with me and just be right back. I'm going to start by sharing about a tool, Skill IQ. This is a tool that is developed by one of my known person. It's being developed in India. They've been very successful in the hiring process. So you can see that, they have videos as well as open-ended questions, especially, when it comes to screening candidates. As I talked that, if there are so many resumes, how do you screen candidates? So the candidates can take this interview anytime. They can do it whenever they're convenient, and that the companies can get that information and they can start the evaluation process. So here I start the demo of the video.
Skill IQ is an AI adaptive interview platform that can automate the human round of interviews. So like for now, you must be interviewing at least 20 candidates for a job role. By using Skill IQ, you need to interview only 3 candidates. And this is possible because Skill IQ would have interviewed and shortlisted the most qualified candidates that match the job role. It helps you hire better talent faster. The way it works is very simple. You simply select the job role that you want to interview for. You upload the candidates whom you have selected to take an interview. These candidates are then informed of the company's interest in them and asked to take the interview. The candidates take the interview at their own time. The interview is proctored with audio-video recording and screen locks to restrict any cheating and maintain integrity of the process. As soon as the candidates complete their interview, both you and the candidate gets their score within minutes. You can then choose to move the candidates to the next round of manual human interview, or choose to drop the candidate because of insufficient skill set match to the job role that you're hiring for. And in this way, you save precious quality time and only talk to the most relevant candidates suited for your job roles. Deploy a smarter approach to hiring.
So I'll stop here. I want to share one thing, I talk to them, and that's one thing very important that I want to share, is that I was very concerned that, okay, fine, right? What about their emotions, and how do you get to know that? So there is a video interview that, the video that captures them. If they move in any direction, there is a red flag which is raised the company's end. So which actually, kind of monitors them well. So you kind of get a sense of what they're thinking or what they're doing. So it's not like it's completely text-based. So just wanted to add that. I will share some more examples. So here I'm sharing my screen, and here I wanted to share with you is, I'm sure all of you use Canva. So Canva is something that, okay. Canva has now, it's kind of doing something which is on, so it has an image generating tool. So I'm going to show that. I don't know if anyone has used this, so I'm just opening that up. Yeah. So here, what you can do is you can probably write person sitting in a room watching television, and you can choose the kind of image you want. So I'll probably choose me, and it works on it to generate some images. Yeah. So you can see those images coming up. So image generation is not that difficult right now. We have, we can generate these images. So this is one of the tools. If I go back, I can probably say the same thing, like, person sitting in a room, and I'm not going to write too much. I can probably ask in a different kind of a texture, and it will generate that. Yeah. So you can see this. So this is one of the tools that you can use. Apart from that, I'm going to show you something using ChatGPT. Uh, as I showed, as for creating a storyboard or course, we need to create quizzes. So how do we create quizzes using ChatGPT? Now, it might seem very simple. Okay, I'll just ask ChatGPT, uh, I need 4 quiz questions on the topic of problem solving. Okay. Now look at this. Are these quiz questions? They're not. Where are these, where utilizes? So very important thing, and this is something, as somebody who develops learning courses, it's very important to keep in mind that when we are giving these prompts, we have to be very specific. So I need quiz questions with 3 options, the with the correct answer, the 3 options for the topic problem solving. 1 option should be correct, and the other 2 options should be distractors. This quiz is for people, for teenagers. Now what comes? So I've defined my audience. I defined what exactly I need. So it's just not about asking the questions, but what are we asking? Very important when we are putting something for ChatGPT, and see how easily we get the content. Whereas if we have to look back on what we used to do earlier, quiz questions. We have to create them on our own. We have to search for content, read content, develop the content, and then, we create this quiz questions. So look at how it's faster now with generative AI. Another example, creating videos. This has always been, a challenge in the area of, video-based courses. So here, Synthesia AI, that's one of the demos that I'm going to show you. You already have a character here, and this is, of course, for the demo purpose. So this is, you can change your character. There's this lady, then there's however you want it. So let me take this sales pitch, and so I'll probably type something of mine. Okay, so now this is going to take me some time, because what it asks is that it asks my email ID, and it takes some time to generate. So I'm just going to let it generate while we can move on to seeing another demo. So I'm just going to let that happen. Okay. Okay. So this is about Synthesia AI, and I'll show another Indian tool, but I'll come back to that later. I want to show another image generating tool, which is PixArt, and this is some beautiful tools here, beautiful images here. So let me just, okay. Yeah. So I'm just going wild. Now, one of the things I wanted to share here, an artist takes a lot of inspiration from different artwork. We can allow generative AI to go wild. We can probably ask for something that probably we can, we don't know how it's going to look like, but we can ask for it. So that's something that we can do. And yeah. And I can select the texture of the image and ask it. So it gives me something, may not be accurate, but some images are, and you can download them for free. So, which is quite a scene. So that's another one. And then Beyond. Beyond is another tool that can be used for a lot of things. So one of the features of Beyond that I want to share is that generating audio, even creating the video. So here, this is a tool where we create multimedia videos. Even you can generate audio in this. So I have just taken a character, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add audio to it. So here I'm going to do a text to speech. Okay. Now I'm just going to go there. I'm going to take some already. I have some text here. And one of the challenges that we've faced in the past with audio is that different accents. So, and also, if we had a text to audio generating tool, I don't know if anybody has used it, It used to be very robotic. It's not anymore. So I'm just going to share this with an Australian accent.
Hi, I'm Nilan. I'm an AI avatar created entirely by artificial intelligence. Businesses can create their own customized generative AI applications for customer service.
Now I'm going to show you that if I want to change this, and I want to change this accent to India, I think they're still working on that because I just see that they don't say this sentence, I am Milan. I don't know why. Probably they don't like my name. Anyways. So, but the accent is something that we can definitely use for our courses.
Hi, I'm an AI avatar created entirely by artificial intelligence. Businesses can create their own customized generative AI applications for customer service. Hi, I'm an
So you see the difference in the accents, and even you can choose the US accent. So uh, earlier we had to look for people with different accents. We don't have to do that. We have this, and we save time if there are edits in the audio. Earlier we had to book a studio, get the person to again record the audio. We don't have to do that. So there's a lot of cutting down of time in this. Another one here I'm going to share a demo is of Sana AI. This is again about audio. So different accents, different languages. Sana is also doing a lot of different languages, Indian languages. So I'm going to share a demo of this.
Hi, this is Alex from the Customer Service Aid.
So what you can see, just focus on this. It switches between without Sana and with Sana. So the accent will keep switching to show you what is the difference.
Hi, this is Alex from the Customer Service Aid.
How are you today? Great to hear. I'm doing very
Very well. Thank you very much for asking. So how can I help you today? I'm so sorry about
about that. I'll be glad to help you. Can I get your
full
phone?
name, phone number, and address to check in on that order. Do you happen to have the order
Order number so I can bring up your order.
So that's on Sana. There's another Indian AI tool which is also doing the same work as Synthesia AI, which is again, it is
Looking for a
generating text to video.
quick and easy way to create highly engaging video content for your business? Look no further than our Rephrase AI. Whether it's long-form content, internal communications, onboarding for new employees and customers, or even content for social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube, Rephrase AI has got you covered. To get started, select a blank canvas or a template. Then, choose your preferred avatar and audio voice, customize your background and composition, and click Apply. Next, enter your text or script in the whiteboard on the left side of the screen. You can add audio pauses for enhanced delivery by choosing from predefined or custom time durations. You can even add your custom audio at this stage. Then, you can click on the plus signs on the bottom right to add multiple narrator or non-narrator scenes for longer content creation. Finally, you can double-click on the avatar where a grid will appear, and you can resize the avatar to best fit the screen. Once you're happy with your video, click the Render button and your video will be ready to test within minutes. All changes are automatically saved, so you can make as many adjustments as you need before exporting the final video. Moreover, you can also change the background, add music, and even upload media files. And if you want to hide the avatar, just select the option for only voice. That's it. Hope this was helpful.
So that's Rephrase AI. It's a startup, generative AI startup from India. Another example, which is creating a complete training course. This is AI Potential. So this can create a training course. So let's do this. Let me show you a demo. So I'm selected the topic of communication. The level is basic. It asks you, and then it will show you the training outcomes. So basically the objectives. You have to select each of them to see if it's all fine. Then you click on the next button. What it generates is the title, the topics of in the learning course. So you see different topics here. And then finally, it will give you the training outline. So you can see it shows a sample video script. It is giving you the strategy. And finally, when you click on next, it generates some images. So if you need images for the storyboard, or if you're not happy with this and you need something, just generate some representative images. So of course, it's probably not the best tool, but then we are getting there, and these are being developed. So that's the thing. Okay, so now let's go back to, let's see if my video is ready. Yes, my video is ready. The Synthesia video is ready.
Hey John, Evelyn from Acme here. I would like to talk about generative AI in the area of HR and L&D.
So I've not changed anything here, but I've just done the text, and it's just converted with its existing image to a video. So that's on this, and yeah, this I have already shared. All right, I think that's all I had for a demo. I will now move to the presentation. So these are some of the examples. I didn't share one example with you, and I think I want to talk about this because this is a very important part of it. Okay, I hope I'm not on mute and everybody can hear me. Okay, yeah, right. All right. So this is a very important example that I need to share, which is on the area of accessibility. So when we create courses, we have to make sure that we are including all kinds of learners. There could be somebody with a vision issue. So, we have the audio for that. There could be somebody who could have, has hearing issues. So we have closed captions. So closed captions, of course, closed captions, you would have seen that in YouTube videos and everything. So generating closed captions is, again, a very tedious task. And of course, some of the video channels are doing that. But in some cases where we develop online courses, we have to develop those closed captions. We have to actually somewhere listen and type those closed captions, match it to see if it's correct. So that's a lot of work, and generative AI is playing a big role in that. The other one is the alt text. Alt text, we have images in our courses, and what we have to do is that we have to make sure that we describe those images. Now, how do we describe those images? So that's something that AI is playing a big role in that. So we have to make sure that the screen reader can read those description of these images. So what happens is we have to write those descriptions. Now in PowerPoint, in the latest PowerPoint software, if you insert an image, you can generate an alt text automatically, which is so convenient because you can use that when you're developing courses in Captivate or Storyline. You can actually use those alt text during the development. So that's another use of generative AI, which I, in the area of accessibility, which I wanted to share. All right, so moving on, now move on to the next one. And here I have an image which shares the advantage. And here you can see, actually it gives you a view of how generative AI is helping the HR and L&D roles. You can see the efficiency gain here. It gives you a complete picture, starting from strategy planning, recruiting, admin and share service, comp and ben, learning and development, performance and career management, employee engagement, employee relations. So in all these areas, it's helping. And you can see below, you can see here the generative AI potential efficiency. So, the tools that I shared, you can see that how useful these tools are and how they are cutting down the time. To sum it up, these are the benefits of AI: spur knowledge management, improve customer experience, create content on the fly, facilitate client services, boost personalization, improve task efficiency, and develop new products. So this kind of sums up the benefits that we are getting from AI. All right, but there are still some concerns. We have concerns that there's a lot of things that are not happening. Probably we have problems with generative AI, and one of them is that there's a huge cost. So creating a generative AI application which simulates the human intelligence is not a small thing. So it requires plenty of time, resources, costs a huge deal of money. It needs to operate on the latest hardware and software to stay updated and meet the latest requirements. Thus, it's costly. I can give you an example. To develop an AI chatbot, it can cost approximately $15,000 to $35,000. So it's a huge cost. Then the other thing that we have a concern is accuracy. Generative AI models, they often present an inaccurate, misleading information, which is not correct. That is because it's limited by the information in the system. It has biases in training data. And I'm sure you would have experienced this in ChatGPT. So it's still, it's a work in progress. Confidentiality of information, that's a very important part. Popular tools, they are OpenAI tools. They are trained on massive image, text databases, multiple sources, and these sources are not known. So the data source is unknown to us, and this can be a problem especially for financial institutions, government organizations. So if you're using open AI tools to generate some content, it's not very safe. And the companies could experience reputational and financial risks, especially if the company's product is based on another company's IP. So that's another thing. Then what about no originality? So, a big disadvantage of AI is that it cannot think out of the box. And you would have experienced this with a lot of artists who say, oh, okay, it's not that creative. It's just a machine. So yeah, it has got its limitations. So it's learning over time with the pre-fed data, past experiences, but it's still not creative. It cannot think on its own. Ethics, that's again a big concern. Fake content, which is being used, which is being created using generative AI, and it's a big concern for everyone. Deepfake, the unethical use of deepfake is increasing, and these contents can be used for harmful purposes, which is not right. What about data biases? Now, yeah, that's another thing. For example, training data for a facial recognition algorithm that represents white people may create errors when it's attempting to recognize some people of color. So it's got data biases. So because the fed data is it's of the white people. So again, so I'm sorry, I mean the white color people. So yeah, again, to use these terms itself is a bias. It's a discrimination. Impact on job roles. That's another thing that uh, it's primarily automating the business processes, and it's bringing certain job roles are going to become obsolete. So it's bringing a change in the job roles, especially in the data analysis jobs. It's helping out. It's helping in the engaging with certain customers. So repetitive jobs mostly. That's something that we have. There are some changes there. Too much dependency of the mind. We're becoming lazy. Most of our tedious and repetitive tasks are getting automated, so we do not have to memorize things, solve puzzles, or get the job done. So we tend to use our brains less. AI can be addictive, so that's another thing. Well, so we've seen the concerns, we've seen the benefits. What are our key takeaways? Uh, Before I jump onto the key takeaway, I want to talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect. And there is a reason for that, which I will share. So the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is, I want to talk about this for ChatGPT. So what is it? This is a Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which individuals with limited knowledge of skills in particular area overestimate their abilities and believe they are more competent than they actually are. So the Dunning-Kruger effect can, manifest in many ways when it comes to ChatGPT. And here is an example that you see on the screen. So when I first started using ChatGPT, I thought it was able to answer all my questions. I overestimated the capabilities of it. I assumed a lot of things. Then I realized that it is ultimately a tool powered by large language model. And so it can generate incorrect answers. I finally thought that it is great, but it cannot be trusted. So I gained more experience of ChatGPT, and you saw that, when I was typing that quiz thing. So, first you type that, and okay, well, no, that's not what I wanted. So I gained more experience with ChatGPT, developed an understanding of its strengths and limitations. My expectations became more realistic. So, what is the learning from this? Do not copy paste in any content generated by generative AI. Reuse as is, because wherever we use it, the ownership is ours. So if you use it blindly, there could be an issue of data integrity and accuracy. So the key takeaway here for us is that understand the limitations of generative AI and use it accordingly. So that's one thing what I want to start with. I'm moving on to the next slide, which is where I start with education, because I think why I want to start with higher education, because substantial changes that are happening in the skill needs are challenging education. So most employers, they complain they cannot find employees with the skills that they need for their businesses. And at the same time, the colleges are finding it difficult to find job opportunities matching to the qualifications or the competencies. Our entire system will have to become more adaptable and responsive to these skill needs. So education especially should focus on technical skills, soft skills, and interview skills. I mean, this is a topic for another day, but there's something that I want to tell, that role of the teacher or professor will change to a mentor, facilitator, coach, challenging the students to use their mental abilities. So it's all going to change starting from the education. As repetitive tasks are being done by generative AI, we will need to focus on areas that AI has not mastered yet. And that is an area which is the empathy. Handling complex and critical situations which require judgment. Generative AI is still not there. Creative thinking, design thinking. We will also need professionals to train and manage these AI systems. What should we do? We need to be adaptable and respond more promptly to these emerging skill needs. Lifelong learning. That is the key to lifelong employability. For organizations, I think very important is keeping these concerns in mind. We need to develop our own in-house applications. And I know that a lot of organizations are doing that. So that is, there is no data integrity issue. So these are the key takeaways. I want to end this presentation by sharing the last slide, which is the startups in India. As I'm from India, I wanted to end by showing what's happening in the India's generative AI space, especially in the startup ecosystem. So you can see this slide, and I'm just going to quickly share a little bit about those startups. The Kombai AI, it is a generative AI tool generating email and web code for designs. Line Chat is chatbots. They help e-commerce brands sell, support, and market on WhatsApp. Spine. It helps businesses create high quality product visuals at scale with AI, especially you need it for marketing. DWise. It uses generative AI to help developers generate code for mobile apps, which can save developers a lot of time. And I'm sure, as developers, you know how much time it takes to generate code. Rephrase AI, which I shared the example already, it's similar to Synthesia AI, or generates text to video. Murph AI, it is working on simplifying voice audio and making high quality voiceovers accessible to everyone using artificial intelligence. Just like it's very similar to Beyond. And of course, even Sana AI. So that's Murph AI. Then we have the SenseForth AI. It offers generative conversational AI chatbot solutions to drive business growth. Protum AI, it's again AI-powered chatbot. It understands 22 Indian languages and can respond in 10 Indian languages. Pixis AI develops accessible codeless AI technology to help brands scale all aspects of their marketing or demand generation. Boost AI helps in growth of customer contact center performances and drives business outcomes fast. So that was the startup ecosystem in India in the area of generative AI. Thank you so much for your time, for especially GSDC, for giving me this opportunity to be a speaker for this event.